Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for the first ever media scrum for UIW. Of course, as you can see here, we are located live in one of our arenas in New York City, the home base for this ever-growing company. Fans in attendance to watch this short series of announcements too. Some of you may know me by my in-ring time with CMV, but today I come to you not as a competitor, but as a shareholder behind the scenes. I'm bringing today some announcements with me, the future going forward, the projected return date, some match announcements, and of course a showcase of what our roster is as a little refresher for all of you. Union of Independent Wrestling is more than just a name for us. It's a literal fact. Two of the hottest companies in the world with the most sought after rosters came here together in New York almost a year ago and created a union. The Union of Independent Wrestling. Of course, those companies were Apex Pro Wrestling and Lionheart Pro Wrestling. In unity, they created some of the most amazing wrestling you will ever seen. Capped off with that final show, Ticket to Broadway, in which we saw several matches like no other. And we look to continue that quality going forward in this second stint of UIW. Of course, this was emphasized with those two 40-person high-stakes battle royals that occurred on the final show. Matches you will never see anywhere else. Each of them lasting about an hour. This is the level of quality we look to continue showcasing as we move forward, continuing to further break down boundaries, giving you more and more never-before-seen content. But before we get into any of the announcements, we first need to get into the most important thing about this company, the wrestlers themselves. Without them, we wouldn't be here. They're what makes the show tick, and they're the most important cogs in the machine. Our male and female divisions are amongst the very best in the world, a perfect blend of up-and-coming talent, some of the most sought-after talent in the industry today. With the relaunch of UIW, we only look to further expand on the roster, making it bigger and better. And what I will tell you right now, the first of many announcements tonight, and perhaps one of the most important, is that coming with the relaunch of UIW, shortly after we return, a developmental brand will be coming to the show, allowing us to further grow and allow more opportunities to those who are looking to join. So not only will you be seeing our stacked normal roster, the women's roster with the likes of Ashley Ray, Haley Jones, Jade Dynamite, amongst many more of the best women in wrestling today, but then our men's roster of Marco Punish, Kevin Dudek, Tone White, and many more of them too. But you will be seeing even more quality in a third developmental roster. The roster needs no introduction. I'm sure you remember what you saw some 9 months ago, but let's take a quick look at what you have come to expect from the roster of UIW. 5-star classics were the name of the game for UIW, but a classic isn't just made by the moves in the ring, but also with the stories developed throughout the UIW shows. Many of the storylines you saw before the break will continue on as if the break never happened. And of course, the two 40-person high-stakes Battle Royale winners, Tops Newsom and Ashley Rain, will still challenge for the belts at Broadway Bash. But the question on everybody's lips right now is, when are we returning? When is the show coming back? What are the matches? Well, you already have one announced. Kevin Dudek will be defending against Rob Cross in a match for the UIW World Heavyweight Championship. And I will announce you one more today on this media scrum. But as for the rest, I can't give them all away right now. That would be teasing. You'll see them all announced shortly. But as for the return date, I can tell you what we're looking for. We're looking at 2 dates right now, and they're both right next to each other. It will either be Friday the 30th of October or Saturday the 31st of October. So not very long to go now. It's going to be worth the wait. And of course, with the shows returning, we need to know who's in charge. Who'll be running the day-to-day operation of Ignition and Intensity? Of course, last time out, it was Xander Slate. But with the relaunch of UIW, we're looking to go in a different direction. In my opinion, Slate got involved far too frequently. And as somebody who's had to deal with oppressive authority before, in my time in CMB, it's not something that I want to see. So Slate will be out of his spot of general manager and instead be replaced by somebody who will take more of a background role and allow the wrestlers to develop everything themselves. And as I mentioned earlier, we're looking to air our return show on either Friday the 13th or Friday the 30th or Saturday the 31st. As you know by now, the return show will be the Gridlock event. It was the next one on the calendar, and we'll look to return in style with a big show to show you what this roster can do. And then after the pay-per-view, we'll return to a weekly schedule with both Ignition and Intensity and the soon-to-be-added developmental brand, ensuring you have plenty of UIW to keep up with each week as we build to our biggest show of the year, Broadway Bash. Going forward, UIW will be back better than ever as we look to further cement our legacy as the best promotion going. And there is a way that you can help out with this. Our doors are now open and we are looking to bring in more men and women and tag teams too. But don't worry if you don't get in right away, as our developmental brand is not too far behind. But if you're interested in being part of this great company, we're only a DM away. So let your voice be heard, hop on board for the future of the wrestling industry, and join the Union of Independent Wrestling today. But before we go, I promised you one more match announcement today. Our UIW Women's Champion, Haley Jones, recently embarked on her media tour and stated she was down to challenge anybody. Stated to me personally that she wanted to face the toughest opponent that already wasn't signed to the roster, so she could defend her championship on her return show at Gridlock in a high-name match, and prepare for what she believes will be a match against Ashley Rain if she retains. And we've only gone and done that. Be careful what you wish for, Haley Jones, because at Gridlock you will be taking on one of, if not the biggest free agent going around. Who is that? We'll take a look. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our second official match for Gridlock and our co-main event of the show. UIW Women's Champion Haley Jones will be defending her championship against the debuting Valkyrie. Certainly match you won't want to miss, for sure. The stakes are high as the winner will go on to, of course, face the winner of the 40-woman high-stakes Battle Royale, Ashley Rain, at Broadway Bash, the biggest show UIW has held to date. But that is it from me today. I hope you all enjoyed what you heard today. I know I did, and there's more of it to come this week as we announce more matches for Gridlock. Thank you all for coming, and I can't wait for UIW to get going again.